Hello everybody and welcome back to Cities Skylines 2, where we are currently seeing if we have enough on the light residential side. It's very space inefficient to zone all this light residential, but there's tons of demand for light residential right now. Hopefully that will go away as the city grows, but we'll see. We do see that there are some traffic jams up over this direction. And I want to take a quick look at that here. It is nighttime right now, but it looks like this is with these on-off ramps. Okay, so this might just be due to lack of on-off ramps. There's only so many ways to get on and off of the highway, right? I suspect that's what this has to do with. Now, that is going to get a lot better as we continue to upgrade these. I kind of want to wait until morning before we upgrade anymore. So let's tick on forward here until sunrise, because it's a lot easier to see what we've got going on at sunrise. But for now, we can definitely see this is around the on-off ramps, and I'm not surprised about that. The plan for this is that we're going to have a lot more ways to get on and off of the highway. And we're going to have intersections for the highways as well. So that'll all be absolutely fine. We're going to need to move this muscle car garage. I can tell you that right now. We're going to need to move this guy, and I'm just going to put it over here for the moment. Cool. Other than that, Mill Avenue is going to probably be a good candidate for elevating next. We've got an underground parking building here that would probably be better off up over this way. We'll do that for now. That'll open up a little bit of industrial zoning. So sure, we can zone that industrial. That'll be fine. Looks good there. The city is incredibly noisy. Yeah, well, that's just kind of the case. So we're seeing a lot of traffic jam around these on-off ramps. And again, the reason for this is we have a very small number of elevated highways here. We've got the Concord Highway, which is the main one. We've got the Mulberry Highway, but then we don't have much for elevated highways that are going horizontally. We've got the Pine Highway, and that's it for right now. So we need to get the Evergreen Avenue elevated up. We need to get Emerald Avenue elevated, Mulberry, Mill Avenue. All of that needs to get elevated up. Things will get significantly better in terms of traffic once they are, because we'll have more opportunities to get on and off of this. What do we have going on here right now? Oh, I see. There's a large queue here. They were just hidden under the street name. I was like, is there an empty spot here? No, there's not. Okay, so that makes sense. Cool. So one thing we could do, yeah, there's definitely a considerable amount of demand to get onto the highway going this way. That's going to be a problem going forward. But like I said, we're going to have more opportunities to get into the highway system as we get these elevated. It's currently 1840, which means we're quite a long ways away at this point from sunrise, right? What time is sunrise in this game? Because it does seem quite a long ways away. We do have some demand creeping up for commercial, and we may want to expand out this direction for right now. So we would take this out to here. And let's zone 3 blocks of commercial and see what happens. We probably don't need too much more than that to satisfy this demand. Okay, commercial. There we go. So that'll do for now. We've also got additional commercial space that we can do here that I'll just zone up as well. Fantastic. So traffic over here is an issue, although it looks like it's clearing up as we get later at night. So it's mostly only a rush hour sort of issue. That's a good sign, because that means that as we get these highways upgraded, that's going to be very good. There's no point in having this section of road here for right now. Going to get rid of that for the moment. And the question is, what are we going to elevate next? Well, we've already got the Pine Highway elevated. I think the one that makes sense next is Evergreen Avenue. And Evergreen Avenue connects over to the Anchor Highway over here where it's already elevated. So that's all well and good. No problem there. But like I said, I do want to wait a bit until daytime. It's just a lot easier to see. That said, I wonder if there's an option for turning up the night brightness. I do like having day-night, but I feel like the night is a little too dark, not really for the average player. I think it's a little too dark for YouTube, because YouTube really, really struggles with night. Unfortunately, I don't see any, like, gamma gain option in here. That would be a very nice thing to have. Definitely. Sad. That would be a very, very good thing to have. So, if there's any Cities Skylines 2 devs watching this, which I doubt, that would be a nice thing for me. I would like to have some ability to set the level of darkness that night is. Day is good. Night, I mean, video compression has a hard time with dark things, right? So, here we are. This is fine for now. We're just going to continue to tick on forward. We're ticking forward at the fastest possible speed right now. Yeah, that's paused. That's fastest. So that's great. I mean, we could just turn off the day-night visuals for right now, and we could turn them back on when we're done with this project.
Just in from traffic.
So that was very flashy. Okay, noted. We could do that for now. This is an option, and we can elevate up Evergreen Avenue here in the daytime while we have that disabled. So that's definitely a thing that we can do. For the time being, I'm going to remove this roundabout here.
Oh, I don't know. I'd rather
and then remove this one here. Now, this is probably going to all be consolidated into one big roundabout, although Hillside Street is probably going to get downgraded, isn't it? Yes. And that will clean this up significantly. Okay, so let's get started on getting rid of these roundabouts for the time being. Now, I want to go into this mode here, and I want to change this into being just a single street. Ooh, I don't like the way I did that one. Right, because you choose by lane. Gotcha. Okay, so that's fine. We can reconnect this out over here. That's not a big deal. I say as it gives us invalid shape. Okay, that's a valid shape. So that works reasonably fine there. Then we're going to continue to downgrade this guy, and I think here is reasonably fine. I guess here we shy towards the riverside. This is going to require a little bit of cleanup up over here, I suspect. This roundabout would be then deleted. Does this ever get to the point where this needs... Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. No. This does not ever get to the point where it needs a highway over here. Beautiful. So that is a good thing to note. That then means that we can bring all of these up. Yes, this is going to be disruptive. That is to be expected. And then this guy would just do something kind of like that. Then we would rezone these areas. Make sure that this is all fully zoned out over here. Okay. We're going to have some frontage issues over this way because they were expecting to be fronting the avenue there, which they shouldn't be doing, to be honest. And that's absolutely fine. We'll just get that all filled in. Cool. Something along the lines of that. Okay. There's a bunch of abandoned houses along here now. That is understood and fully expected. Now, Birdsong Street. We're going to be getting rid of it. I'm going to get rid of just this section for right now. We're going to go to an elevated highway here, and we're going to go into straight line mode. Yes, I want this to be right here, but elevated one step. And then we'll take that out over this way. That is that 90 degrees? That's not 90 degrees, I don't think. Okay, we are going to do this slightly differently. I'm going to connect it in over here temporarily, making sure that it is centered, and then we're going to elevate it like so. and then bring it out like this. Then we can delete this section that we just created, and we have this as a guide. Phenomenal. So that's much better. This is now indicating 180 degrees, and we can just go through and eliminate what is now Fairview Street. What is now Amity Street. Okay. So this just gets completely and totally eliminated. Yes, this is going to create some problems. There we go. Beautiful. So that'll do for right now. This is going to get substantially cleaned up, although looking at this, I'm wondering... I think this is slightly off. We can definitely adjust it over the bridge. That's not a big deal. And as far as this goes, I don't want it connected like that. And this section here can definitely be redone. Okay, beautiful. So we're going to hop on in over here and connect that guy straight down like this is the goal. There we go. Now we're lacking connection for some of these pipes. Sure. We can pull these on out of here and get some combined pipes moving in like that. Doesn't really matter. That'll do. Phenomenal. The power keeps going out. I'm not sure that's true. 17% usage. Maybe the power's out over here because of removal of some of those pipes. I don't know. We'll see. For now, I want to get this highway fully built in. So we're going to move over this direction, and we're going to start up construction here. Phenomenal. So we're just going to go in like so. Cool. This is going very smoothly thus far. That's 179. Okay. I spoke too soon on the it's going smoothly. That's 180. Cool. So now we want to have this link in here. And then we will have it come out over this way. Phenomenal. Then it connects here and moves on through. There we go. Slight overlapping item there, which is mildly awkward, but it's okay. And then we would connect this guy in here, and then we would just connect this approximately, this is 178 degrees. I'm okay with there being a very, very slight curve over this body of water here. That's reasonably fine. So let's head on back over here, and we now need to put in our roundabout, which we've been doing. Slope too steep. What slope are we talking about exactly? I'm not convinced that I see a slope here. We can do a small roundabout. I think we just eliminate... Oh, we're in underground mode. We eliminate this section, perhaps? That's still slope too steep. Okay, let's eliminate this section. Back this off. Now we can do this. Okay, cool. So I think the problem there was the location of the pillar on that highway. So we can connect in here. We can connect in over here. Phenomenal. That'll do. Then we can come up over this direction. Hopefully this one we can just slap a roundabout straight on in. And indeed we can. Phenomenal. So that's great. And now, of course, we need on-off ramps, and we have a little bit of a frontage problem in a lot of locations. This is unsurprising, and we'll need to eliminate some of this stuff. Okay, let's get this cleared out. As I said, every time we've done this, this is going to be disruptive to these people. Absolutely, and there's nothing we can do about that. It just is what it is. All of these are currently abandoned and will need to be eliminated. Beautiful. We can, of course, have these be rebuilt, and that will create some additional demand, which is great. It would be nice if these would get, like, auto-demolished, or if there was, like, an option for that. I wouldn't want it to always get auto-demolished, I don't think. Okay, so something along the lines of that over here. And then down this way, of course, we're going to need to demolish a bunch of these guys. Cool. Because they're also going to have some issues. And we're going to build our on-off ramps as well. Yeah, you can get demolished, and then we can do something like this. On-off ramps will be a necessity here very shortly. How do we cancel that? Escape? Okay, sure. We only need to go to here. What is this? A small park? Okay, we're going to just turn the small park. Although it might need to be moved, actually. I'm not sure where it's located. Let's see here. I think that's actually in the location where it wouldn't have any on-off ramps. So that's good. Now we need to do our on-off ramps over here, and we can certainly do that. So that would be somewhere around here. Oh, we need to be in Curve Tool. That would help. So somewhere around here-ish. Slope too steep, overlapping items. Okay. Let's try it from this side and see what that gives us. Invalid shape, slope too steep, overlapping items. This is not that big of a slope, to be honest. It's about the same as what we've normally been having. We just need to find something that actually works. Like this. Sure. That'll do. And then we bring it out over this way. Slope too steep, overlapping items. We might just need to bring it out like so. Or, alternatively... altitude. Okay, there we go. Alternatively, we could bring this up like this, potentially. Yeah, that kind of works, but I actually hate it. We're going to try that one again. This is a very fiddly process, and like I've said before, this was also fiddly in City Skylines 1. This is not a new thing. This is not new that this is fiddly. I was kind of hoping that it wouldn't be, but alas, here we are. Trying to find a reasonably straight approximation of this. We might need to turn off snapping. So that would end up meaning we need to do page up here. Bring this out. And then down about like this or so. About like this. Actually, I feel like that's a lot easier without snapping on. We might want to do that in the future. So. Those are backwards. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, well, now that we have snapping off, let's try this about right here. We have to manually set our height with snapping off, but this does actually seem to be a whole lot easier. So we do it about like that. We bring this guy out, set our height manually, and position it about like that.
You're listening to Second Moon Radio with
Yeah?
J. Thomas Hornbuck.
That does
And
seem
we're
easier.
pervading some of the finest classical music
So we bring it
on
out
air.
about
Keep that
like
dial
so.
right here.
And on to our main
And now we're
feature
getting, oh,
story.
right, we didn't
The
have the,
commercial
we have to
district is
set the
booming
height
as
manually.
the area
So we
is
have to bring it
attracting
out
more
like
high-end
this.
stores, bringing
And then we
latest
set the
in
height like
luxury
this.
to our neighborhood.
Cool.
You can now shop
Yeah,
for
that definitely
designer
does
shoes
work.
while sipping a fancy local Jarva mate, or so my wife tells me.
We're
That's
able to
good
get a
for
lot
business
more
and
fine-grained
good for the
control
community.
over it.
Thanks, Jim.
And so we're able to make these more symmetrical. And they're not perfect, but they're more symmetrical. So that's definitely a good thing. Now, I do want to turn snapping back on, and we are going to extend this road out a ways. Specifically, we want to bring this road up to at least here. Specifically, here. And then connect these in. We don't want to be in one way. Okay, let's upgrade these to be two-way roads. Phenomenal. There we go. And then straight line tool. There we go. So now we can do on-off ramps over here as necessary. Specifically, we're only going to need an on-ramp and an off-ramp, and then we don't need to go any further over here for now. So snapping off, and this is where our roundabout would be. So we want to do this over here. So about here, we would bring it up and... Oh, hello. We are not in curve tool. That would help. So curve tool, we bring this up, and then we would bring it in about like this, 90 degrees. Technically, that's 81 and 90, but that's good enough. And then we would bring it out over this direction. And then in, like that. Okay. So that would do, and then we would need, of course, one more block up here if we wanted to get these done. And I guess we might as well get that done, right? So snapping back on, and with the snapping on, we are going to position approximately here or so. There we go. Yeah, I thought there might be a pillar there. So we're going to back this guy off a little bit. And we're going to need to have this be two-way. Thank you. We're going to need to bring this out over here and bring it down. And then our highway can be extended on out to go here. And now we can do our on-off ramps over this way. So we skip this block, and then from right here, we bring this out to be 90 degrees. Curve tool helps. So we'll turn on the curve tool. We'll bring this out to be 90 degrees. And then bring it in. We have to manually lower the height here. Perfect. And then out over this direction, we would do approximately the same, bringing it up to about here. And then bringing this in to be... That length isn't ideal. I would like the length to be about right here. Now that's saying 98 degrees. We'll call that good, though. That'll do for now. I think I just started it a little too far out, but that's fine. So that'll do for the moment. We can do the same thing, of course, down over here. So that's definitely, I think, a more effective way of building these on-off ramps. I think there's no doubt about that. So we bring it on over, and we connect it in to be here. Cool. And then we bring this guy up and in. About like that. It's not perfect, and it's backwards. I need to stop building these backwards, that's for sure. It's not perfect, but this technique is definitely significantly improved, in my opinion. So then this would come down to be about here. Overlapping items. Yeah, fair enough. I'll just put it in about here. Cool. Like I said before, they don't have to be perfect. That slope too steep, so I just want to put it in about like that. It's close enough. It'll do. So then up over here, we're going to move up a little bit, and then we need to bring this out to be about here, and then bring it in to be about... That's only 7. Oh, wait. I was looking at the wrong thing. 90 here. Okay. There we go. That looks good. We bring it out over this direction to do approximately the same thing. Page it up, and we'll have it come in about here. Cool. I don't necessarily love what we've got going on here, but we had some slope too steep. So that's fine for now. We can do one more set of them out over this direction. So we can bring this guy up, and then we can bring it in to be about here. Looks good. And then we can bring this guy out and down to be slope too steep. So we would need a little bit more space here. Let's just back this off to be about here. Sadly, that's giving us slope too steep. How is that slope too steep? What do we got going on here for height? I guess we do have a drop-off over this way. Okay. We can just try to make it significantly wider of a bend. And that's reasonably fine. Although I do want this to be 90 degrees here. And yeah, that still gives us slope too steep. So it does have to be a wider bend over this way. Understood. Why is that now giving slope too steep when it didn't before, though? I wonder if it has to do with whether we have that height changed or not. Okay, let's do it from here and see what we get. We can put it up over here. If that's the case, then I'm going to move this one to match. So that would, of course, mean that this goes about like so, and then gets brought down over this way. So this is going to be a little wider out because it's a little lower down. That's fine. I'm not too concerned about that one. So that seems okay. No problem there. Although these are one-lane highways, and I really do want them to be one-lane roads. I don't want them to be labeled as highways. So I'm just going to change those around here. There we go. We do have some crosswalks, and we really probably should be removing those. There's going to be crosswalks on a number of these locations, aren't there? Yeah, well, actually, there aren't here because these are technically highways. I don't like the fact that it labels them as their own highway. I do like the fact that it doesn't generate crosswalks. Okay, so that's definitely noted and is intriguing. We may want to change all of these over to being highways. Although snapping would be useful for that, for sure. So just have to make sure they're snapped the way we want them to be, which would be something like this, right? So it would just be snapped like so. We absolutely do not want to do this without the snap tool enabled. That would be very problematic indeed. So for now, we'll call that good there, and then I'm going to move these back to being highway. I do like the fact that it doesn't generate crosswalks by default. So that seems okay. I'm going to turn snapping back off. And now we're going to need our off-ramp over here. Oh, we need to be up in altitude a bit. Okay, that is not curve tool. Curve tool does help. Let's grab curve tool. Build it out over here. And downward we go. Phenomenal. And then bring this guy up to be about right here. Phenomenal. Okay, so that will do for now. We could go through and upgrade these, and I kind of hate what we've got going on here, but I like how close in this is, but I don't like how asymmetrical it is. That's the thing. Let's try this without snapping and see how that feels. So we would then put this in at exactly like 90 degrees right here, and then we'd look to snap it in here. That gives slope too steep. The closest we can get here is out over here. So in that case, I think that we should probably, because of the height differential between these, I think we should probably end up doing something kind of like this, which gives us slope too steep until we get out over here. Okay, that's exciting. Okay, let's have it be somewhere up here then. And look to bring it in about... How did we get that other one built then? Okay, that's remarkable. Let's have this go up to about here and just curve it in like this then. Slope too steep. Remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. We were able to do it from here to here, but we can't do it from here to here, which is actually more distance because the slope is too steep. That's very strange. Let's just remove this and rebuild it from the ground up. So where can we connect in over here? Here. And then we connect this in down over this way. It's kind of better. I'm not sure that it's actually better. But it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to keep elevating these highways because this really does need to happen. We know that we're going to have significant traffic issues without it. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings. And a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video. And as always, I will see you all next time.